Alrighty, welcome back, guys. It's been a little while. Sorry about that. It's been kind of a rough week. We're going to try to get some work done today. Let me show you what I'm working on. So if we switch here, character sheets. That's the main goal right now. Just got the poster done last time. So that's ready to go. So now we're just working on illustrating each character, doing different poses in preparation for, you know, this whole page to go out, right? You can buy a copy at a convention. And the main drawing on the left will also be a sticker that you can buy. So yeah, I'm just going to work on getting the rest of these sketches in. And we'll see what we can do. I was thinking about how to orientate all of these. Thinking maybe 6 drawings per character would be enough. But we'll see. Alright, let's get into it. Gotta do some quick math. So 1980 divided by 2. 990. Okay. So I'm trying to split this area on the right in 2, so I can draw the line right down the middle and then 2 lines horizontally to split it up in 3 ways. So we're doing a grid of 6, so 2, 2, 2. So what happens if I set that at 0? Not much. Gotta bring it down. I gotta line this line up with this one. Bingo. Alright, so that's in half. And now we'll simply take 2550 divided by 3. This is not... Oh, that's a pretty nice number. 850. Boom. And those are nice and square. How you doing, Sharon? Or Sharon? Sorry. So now we'll snap to grid. Just going to draw little dividing lines here. Right in the middle there. This is my favorite Sonic character. It's got to be Sonic. You know, this guy. Alright, so the goal here... I should have done this before I started doing all these sketches. Is doing the dividers first, and then start drawing the characters in. So now I gotta position all these things. But that's okay. So we're just going to lasso them all. Whoops, don't want to do that. Oh, a Sonic redesign? I mean, I've already redesigned him. But all I'm doing now is making a character sheet thing out of it. It's not your traditional character sheet. It's more just a showcase, I guess. You have your main illustration on the left, and then you have like different expressions and angles in a grid of 6 on the side. This is going to be a really sorry, I didn't mean to smack the mic. Just a real fancy looking sheet that you can buy at this convention I'm going to. So these live streams going forward is going to be me designing material to sell at this convention coming up called SonicCon UK. It's happening October 5th this year. So it's coming up quick, so I got to hurry up and get this done. But yeah. I think what is also going to be very useful, I might actually do, I'm going to show the grid, well it's already showing. I'm going to divide this in 2 again, so 990, can I quick math this? What is half of that? That's going to be, that's 4, no. I actually don't know. I'm sure I can eventually get it, but I got a calculator. Divided by 2. 495. Okay. Do I prefer classic Amy or modern Amy design? I like the modern one if I were to pick, only based on color scheme. The original is a little busy, you know, a little too messy with the color scheme, I think. Color scheme's kind of all over the place. You have pink, green, and orange. And then I think her shoes are purple, so like another crazy color. I'm not saying it's terrible, it's just, I don't know. Simpler color schemes are easier to recognize, I think.
Well, as they say, each to their
Oh!
own.
Hey! I gotta put a bell on you, bro.
And I always come in when you least expect it.
Yeah. Well, this is like when I start streaming, I don't get notifications anymore on Discord, so it's just silent. I never know when you're entering. It's good to have you.
God, it really is like, it's really like sneaking in the back door at times.
Yeah.
This whole thing. Oh, here's a question from Sharon. Do you like Amy's quills like Sonic's quills? Like, I'm sorry. Do you like Amy's quills like Sonic's quills? Like classic? Or do you like them down as modern? So basically, up or down, like Amy's quills, basically.
Huh. Well, having them down makes her different from Sonic, so I think I prefer that. But I want it done in a certain way. I'll actually show this off because it is public. Let's see if I can find it.
Yeah.
Ah. Well, you know what? I'll just go into the actual file. I just don't remember which shot it is. Is it 38? Nope.
I gotta say, how many shots do we have for this thing? I mean, if we can say that out loud.
It's close to like, it's getting up there towards 60 in total. They're not done, but
no.
Yeah. It's shot 44? No, it's not that one. I gotta find it. 43? No. $37. No. It's always a guessing game.
And while you're searching for that, we got a question from a guy called Philbro2005. Says, was wondering, what kind of project are you pushing this to be? If we could answer that.
Yeah, so it's sort of like a, well, if you want it to be what this is specifically, this is a pitch for a Sonic Sat.AM continuation in the format of a feature film to finally complete the story. To put it simply, Ben Hurst, one of the writers for the show, had a chance to make a movie out of it to finish his story, but he never could. But what if it did happen? And it's also like, what if I was part of that team to decide what it may look like? It wouldn't look... Okay, so realistically, it wouldn't look any different or much different from the original if it was done back then, but something else that I'm doing with this is how do I adapt it to a more modern audience as well? Because not everybody likes those old designs, right? But what if I could find something faithful but fresh that would work, you know, that would capture people's attention and be like, yeah, you know, this also works.
It's very much.
If that makes sense.
To be fair, this is very much a different sort of what if Sat.AM was to be finished off thing in your own style thing. And of course, like we've seen other people do that, but this is very much how would we do it in a new way, and what angle could we take on it type deal.
Trying to be, as respectful to the original stuff as possible without without trying to be a one-to-one copy, because we're not Deke Entertainment, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're not the first people to do this type of thing, so it's very much like, what spin can we do on this? Very much take the basis of what Ben wanted to do, but sort of like add our own flair to it type deal.
So, yeah. The people in charge of doing the one-to-one is Team Season 3. I would check them out.
Yeah.
But also, I'm trying to make it not like, oh, we're going completely our own way. It is going off of Ben's notes and the possibility. Well, he did say he wanted to learn more from the games coming out at that time. If we were to do a movie. So that's the route we're going. We're bringing in some game elements, bringing in new characters, tying it into the classic games in a way, as a means of progressing the story further and giving it an end. But yeah. Let me see if I could. Sorry, I was talking without trying to find it.
It's all right. Just answering questions.
That's good. I like
got another one. Well, I'll answer this one while you carry on. Also, a random question: should Shadow have red stripes on the back of his quills? Which is, I mean, that's, I don't know really. I mean, he's always had them on the top of his quills. Funny enough, I do know, because this being the year of Shadow, apparently, according to Sega, is one of the elements because there was a stream a while back showing off the Sonic X Shadow Generations animation tie-in thing they're doing, and one of the things that popped out was when they were designing the character, they based sort of the red stuff, like his red stripes on his head, based on the, I think, kabuki, if that's the right word, like the Japanese kabuki. So it's sort of loosely based on that. Because again, if you've ever played a Sonic game or whatever, you can sort of tell what they're taking cues from. Particularly, us two have noticed over the years that they're not sort of about taking cues from Dragon Ball. That's definitely one thing we've talked a lot about.
Oh, here's Amy, by the way.
All right.
So we are bringing her into this universe. So this is kind of my take on it.
Yeah.
So she starts off.
You are using like a classic outfit. You're using her classic outfit, at least
inspired. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is quite different. I'm making it more of a vest and kind of a. What do you call that? It's definitely a button-up shirt, but it's like the poofy shoulders.
I think that's what it's called, the waistcoat. It's called like
the shirt itself.
Shirt, waistcoat, and skirt. I guess that's the best way to describe it.
And then we've got.
Well, thank you, Sharon. Says that's a pretty cool design.
Thank you. Yeah, she is. But yeah, the plan is she isn't only gonna have this outfit. So she starts off like this, and then I think let me see. Yeah, I don't do the mono eye.
No,
simply because he was the only one with it, so it makes no sense that he's an exception. It kind of makes him stick out amongst the others, which I don't really like.
Again, it's sort of a different type, but then again, like Movie Sonic definitely made the thing of him having like not having one big eye with two pupils in. So
yeah,
so you can see movie resemblance. Yeah, so it's not unusual these days to see this sort of look.
He may be a superhero in their world, but that doesn't mean he's exempt from proper anatomy. So yeah. I'm trying to find.
And again, he's kind of like, what if you took Mickey Mouse and Felix the Cat, put them together? That's kind of like the inspiration for Sonic in terms of his design. He's kind of two round balls and little legs and hands.
I guess this works. So this is the outfit, her more game-friendly outfit, I guess, later on. This is the first time I designed her, so... Yeah, you can expect this kind of thing.
She is. Yeah.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I've said to him when I first saw this, is like I like it and it's adorable. You know, the two things.
Yep.
It's very adorable looking.
It's kind of it's one of the goals, I guess. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's difficult trying to get the quills right, though, and not make it look kind of strange. I don't know. The idea was like, it's like Sonic's quills, but it's just pushed down further. You know, kind of pulled downwards. So it's kind of, it's got a layered effect coming up. It's not all just the same length going down like the games. It's almost like a bowl cut in the games, in a way. This one, it's like, you could say it's choppy, so it starts off down, and then it kind of comes up a little bit, but it's all kind of being pulled down. Sonic's quills look more like proper Hedgehog quills, with the quills on a separate piece. I think you're meaning that the quills are separated from the rest of the fur?
From his head. Yeah, rest of the fur, like,
So it's
Yeah,
the reason why I did
on the
that.
top of the screen, if you look at the top of the screen of the chat, the stream, actually, you can see like the two-tone colors of his where his quill and his head is. So that's kind of the idea.
That does remind me, I need to change that graphic because that poster got fixed. So
yes, you did. The last few weeks you've been redoing a bit of the main poster.
Oh yeah. So the idea behind the different color. I mean, really, I was inspired by this random illustration. It was like an edit of a screenshot from the cartoon. I'm like, man, that's really neat. This person tried to make Sonic look more like the other characters, like he belonged. And it's quite a radical change. So I'm like, what if I try to find a happy medium? So the idea is that, his quills are a different material entirely. It's not the rest of his fur, and it's also not tentacles on the back of his head like you see in the games.
I mean, to be fair, the thing with his quills is like a lot of times, particularly animation, they do treat it like hair. I mean, he's always like sort of deal. So it's kind of, why do we just go with that idea that it is like something you could move up and down and scruff up?
I mean, hey, in the cartoon, it went wild, like he got shocked by something and it created a whole different design. So it's definitely like hair, So we gotta treat it.
That's what I mean. It's like the quills have been treated like hair a few times in some of the different media, so it's not unusual.
Yeah. Also, you're saying are we only designing the SatAM characters or just the game Sonic cast? Well, we're doing mostly the original cartoon because that's what this is based on. And to show you exactly what I mean, here's the poster that I was talking about. This, I don't like when they have lyrics on that stuff. Let me switch songs. Sorry. But yeah, there's the Freedom Fighter group, the one we all know and love. Tails is a little bit different. He's got kind of darker tips to the ears. Kind of a gradient going on. Antoine, I guess he's
the same.
He's mostly the same. The proportions, proportions are different. Definitely smaller body, bigger head, longer arms. Definitely less snooty, I guess you would say. Bunny's definitely a lot different. Get that ponytail, braided ponytail going on.
You can also see she's accessorized some of her mechanical parts with some little doodads. It's basically her arm, so she's just wearing the same wristband as her other arm. So I think that works. And since she's fine with not going back to her old body, so she went ahead and modified it by it's all stained now. Got a little bit of a purple metallic stain to kind of match the outfit. So I think, looking into her character, she likes prettying herself up, right?
She's the hairdresser. She's got the the eyeshadow and everything. We saw our episode of her trying to put curls in it. You remember? I think that was the pilot episode.
Yeah, it was the pilot episode of all things.
She had like a face cream on and stuff. Somehow,
So even living in the woodland, even living in the woodlands in the middle of a feud with a monster, it's like still has to take care of herself in the
and
forest.
having fur all over your face, she still puts the face cream on. But being that, I think it fits her character that she would also touch up the metallic parts. That'd be neat. And Rotor is probably the biggest change. I really love how he came out. I looked up an actual walrus just to see what do they actually look like, so I'm not making anything strange. When you're curious about something, always go to the source when you're trying to design something.
I mean, to be fair, Rhoda has been the one who's had now chronologically 3 different designs from Pilot, Series 1 and Series 2, so...
Yeah. So I'm like, I look up a walrus and I'm like, wait, they actually have a really impressive looking mustache, don't they? So I'm like, well, if Rotor's meant to be a little bit older now, given in this film is taking place 2 years later after the events of the cartoon. Like, maybe he's trying to try out a stash or something. That makes him visually different from the rest, I think. Definitely interesting.
I mean, the key thing about this whole Act 2 business, it's very much basically everyone growing up. It's everybody growing up and dealing with either themselves or new threats and stuff. So that's kind of the whole theme of the whole project, is kind of people growing up, particularly this version of Sonic, like learning to grow up if he can.
Yeah. And Sally's having to go over the fact that, she's 18 at this point in the story. Like, she should be queen right now. So it makes her think, like, well, once this war is over, how do we take charge of the future? Everybody's got their own ideas for that, and that may lead to some difficulties later on. She's got another question. Do you have an answer?
Yep.
Which Sonic characters have the best designs? Sonic.
Your opinion.
It all started with him. Like, he is the perfect character design for what he does, If we're talking games, right? Like, what a perfect character design.
Yeah. He was designed to be readable for people to know what you're doing on the screen, left to right, and all that business. That's how character design works for gaming, is often you need to make sure the player knows where you are, with what the character looks like, via silhouette, and just pick up instantly. I know where he is, I know which part he's going on, left to right, all that stuff.
Like, it's genius in the fact that, like, he matches how he plays and his moveset in the game. But also marketing as well. He is the exact opposite of Mario. That's what they were going for. Like, they were trying to be a direct competition to Mario when he came out. That was Sega's.
Do you find it?
That was Sega's. That was Sega's message to Nintendo. Like, that's their competitors. Like, we got this Hedgehog to go against the plumber.
It's funny, actually. I was rewatching as a feature-length documentary called Console Wars, which is about the rivalry between Sega and Nintendo during the 90s. And it does go into like how Sega America started up, how they were just underdogs and going against Nintendo, which was this like conglomerate of gaming at that point. And it was sort of the idea, oh yeah, this is weird little game that these guys in Japan have made. Sonic the Hedgehog is like, this is interesting, okay. And then it was kind of like, well, how do we market him? How do we get him out there? And the rest is history, as they say.
That's pretty neat.
Another question Sharon said, sorry, there's 2 other ones, is going back to your Tails design. So Tails looks more like Adventures on the Hedgehog since he's more brownish than yellow. That is true. He was more brown in Adventures than he was... Canonically, he's meant to be orange-yellow. I mean, it's sort of varied over the years.
But there is a very specific reason that is... I think at this point is 100% correct now. It was because Deke Entertainment, when they were making the two cartoons at the same time, when they were preparing and creating the designs for the characters, Sega actually sent them their first design for Tails. There was a little sprite sheet, tiny little sprite, and he was darker. He was brown. And then Sega, as they continued to make Sonic 2, they changed him to orange. So technically, Deke was correct in the time that it came out. You see, that's what they had at the time. They didn't tell Deke that they changed it to orange.
No.
They never did. Until the games came out, and then once the games came out, I mean, they already know him as brown. They just kind of kept up their design.
Yeah.
And it was fine. Nobody cared.
It is funny because, again, like when they were making those shows, because the story goes, it has been confirmed that they wanted Sunny M as the main show, and as they were developing it, it was kind of like, okay, here's a few screenshots from the 1 and 2 game that you got, and it's like, make a shot of that. It's like, okay, so they had to make up a lot of stuff, but the fact that they were given early ideas, oh, right, we got this actual new character we're introducing, it's kind of like, oh, I guess we got something else to work with. So there you go.
Yep. Let's see. I'm not really a fan of Orange Tails. Yellow Tails suits way more, in your opinion. Was he ever yellow?
I mean, he's kind of been yellow.
Kind of like a goldenrod.
He's definitely very yellow in that game. Like I said, depending on which game you play, he's varied from orange to yellow. Like even Movie Tales, for instance, he's very orange, but there's a little. I think if you look back at the end of movie 1 to when he appears in movie 2, it's like even then they're still like he's much more orange in the end of movie 1.
Yeah.
And then he's much more yellowy in movie 2.
That's true.
So even then, even today, even 20 years after his creation, they're still figuring out, all right, what color is
What color is he? Yeah. That's funny. So I'm just trying to position this guy appropriately. So I thought of doing this grid system instead. It might make the so this is going to be, these are the character sheets, by the way, if you didn't know.
Yeah, I do. I did hear you saying you're thinking of putting them in the grid and make them all fit together.
Oh, you're here for a while, huh?
Yeah, I was. Like I said, I snuck in when you started, as I didn't say anything until I wasn't sure whether you noticed I was there or not.
Man. Oh, whoops. I don't want to do that. It's funny. It's like,
ever since.
Go ahead.
Go on. I was just reading Sharon's comment to say, ever since I knew Tails, I always believed and thought that he was yellow. It blends well with, well, since Sonic characters are the opposite colors of their real animals. I mean, yeah. I mean, like I said, I grew up when Adventures on the Hedgehog came out and Sonic 2. So even though I knew the difference that game-wise he was orange, TV-wise he was brown, it's like. It didn't clicking until years later, but it's just one of those things I just accepted and never questioned.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are you going to say?
Oh, I don't know.
Right.
That's okay. It'll come back to me.
It's all right. Seeing how Sharon's been asking a lot of questions, if you don't mind us asking questions, I mean, how did you get into Sonic? Was it through the games, TV shows, whatever? Tell us how you got into this series and just which iteration you grew up with.
What is this song, bro?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm happy to listen to you via Discord. I can't really have the stream at the same time because it's it's a few seconds out of sync, and also I have no idea what you're playing anyway.
It's okay. Oh, what the pen's being weird.
Here's a question. Just give another question. Here's a question. What sort of characters would you redesign, and that the designs don't stick out to you enough, or the designs that are good enough as it? So basically, if there's another character you would redesign, which ones would you do, or which ones do you think look good as they are? Tricky one.
I think it's really going to be anybody that has too much detail going on, if that makes sense.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
But all of them are pretty all right. Maybe
I will say this.
Oh, I was gonna say maybe. I was gonna say Rouge. But I don't know. She doesn't follow a whole lot of the conventional design elements. In a way. But it could be because that's what they were going for. I'm talking about the... Oh, you can't see him on the stream, I guess. But
no, I won't. Like whenever you put on, I won't see. Yeah.
I mean, it's not just that. I guess it's... Well, I guess she's okay. Character designs...
Yeah, it's funny because weirdly enough, when Prime was coming out, they did give her an entirely new outfit, which, you know, I did think to myself, thinking, yeah, maybe that works for her because she's meant to be a femme fatale spy. That's kind of her shtick.
Yeah.
So, like I said, most people know her Adventure 2 onwards look. That's the main thing she said. But they have every now and again changed it up a little bit, and you know, it's one of those things. I thought the way they did it in Prime for Prime Sonic, you know, if I guess we call it that.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, if they carried on with that, that would work. And
I really am trying to think of a character that... They're all pretty good. You know, they put a lot of care into creating them.
I mean, it is funny when you look at the history of their designs. Like, recently, they've obviously announced Shadow Generations, and one of the gimmicks you can get is a skin of what they call Teros, the early version of Shadow, and it's kind of like, wow, this was... Yeah, I can see why they didn't use this one initially, but the fact that they're doing it as an extra is like, okay.
Huh. Oh, I think I put him in the wrong spot.
Well, speaking of redesign, I mean, I gotta say, I do have a soft spot for some of the Boom iteration. Like, particularly, I do like Amy's redesign in Boom. I think it's just a nice update, because, like you said, she's had the dress on since... you know, 1998 effectively.
Yeah.
So giving a slight change up, I thought, I like that. I kind of wish that they would have took some of those elements and kept it in the main series, but you know, it is what it is. Also, I do have a soft spot for the character of Styx, because she very much is a character you could just plop into any of the main games, and, you know, she just would have fit in perfectly, you know, regardless if this is from a spin-off.
Yeah, well, she's got a character archetype that nobody else does. So that would be great to just throw in there. But, I don't know. I can see why they haven't really done it yet, because she's so specific. She's like a caveman in a way. Because
she's like literally a jungle savage person who's been living in the wilds all her life, so that's kind of the gimmick.
So it's like, how would that play in like a Sonic Frontiers or something like that, right? If you're not with the main cast, they're all kind of like, they're cleaned up, right? They have tech, you know, they ride on a plane. Styx is like kind of like the outcast, right? Maybe she comes in, you know, in certain situations, but that's it, you know. I don't see her as like, she'd have to clean herself up, is what I'm saying. They'd probably have to give her a different like outfit.
Yeah, I mean, again, like it's kind of funny because you think about like where most of these characters because really game-wise, we never really see where a lot of these characters live. I'm assuming Amy lives in the city, Tails has a workshop, Sonic seems to just go anywhere he wants.
Yeah.
Knuckles lives on an island most of the time, so, and the fact that Styx is like in Boom, she lives in like a burrow. She's actually in like the side of a mountain or something. So
Hey, you know what? Here's a role
What?
for her. She could live up on the floating island, Angel Island, helping be a scout. You know, like going around the island, making sure nobody's on it.
I mean, put it this way: if
Helping
they wanted to
Knuckles.
introduce it in the series, she would be swatting on Angel Island. Knuckles would just discover that who's put this house here, and then just having a whole kerfuffle about that. And then after a while, it's going, oh, okay, you can live here, I guess. But you know, if you're
She's
going to do
like,
this,
"What are you
make sure
doing
don't make
here?"
a mess.
She's like, "What are you doing around my? You've been watching, huh?"
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what do you?
That's
It's
it.
like,
Well,
this is my island. What do you? My tribe has been here for thousands of years. What are you doing here?
get away from everybody else. The floating islands about
That would be a great character duo. I think that'd be fantastic.
Because in Boom they do portray her. Because obviously the gang sort of know that she's kind of a bit loopy because she's slightly delusional and paranoid about everything. But what I like about her, at least in the show, is like she's not just a one-note joke. Because I think it's very easy just to do the skitty, crazy, everyone's against me type deal, and that joke could just get really old, really tired. But it's like, no, you do see that she's pretty competent about what she needs to do. She's a clear friend with Amy. She's, for the most part, she can just be a normal person. It's just every now and again she splurts out some nonsense. But again, it's like, I kind of feel like if they were to put her in the main series, my only worry was, again, this is more writing-wise than anything else. It's like, I wouldn't just want to play into the whole, kooky, crazy, mad magic character all the time. I want to balance of that. I want to, to show that she is competent. There's a reason why they keep her, particularly in Boom. There's a reason why they hang around with her for the most part. Like, she's useful.
Yeah, I don't want her to be just the comic relief constantly. She can serve that role.
To be fair, we already got.
She can be like that, but not everything.
Yeah, because we've already got enough comedic characters in the Sonic universe. I mean, hell, Eggman has got Orbot and Cubot, who are just, the scratch and grounder, Okun Dokun, and I guess Dingo, Sleet, and Snivelly of the group. It's basically someone for him to talk to and abuse, basically.
All right, so I think for this one, I really want to have. I've always wanted to draw this, have Sonic, like, in the middle of eating a chili dog, like, being surprised, like, just cheeks full.
I was going to say, at what point of eating the chili dog? Is he about to bite in it, or is he just chomping in his cheeks?
He's just eating on it. So if I look it up real quick, this is my main inspiration.
Okay.
Let's see. I'll just try to find the moment. If this thing even works.
Are you trying to find like a few frames of him eating? Is that the
Yeah. Their website. Oh, there we go. So let me go back. I gotta find the scene. Let's see.
I'll just read out Sharon's other thing. Personally, I wish Shadow had red stripes on the back of his clothes too, but maybe he just looks good the way he is. I mean, yeah, you could do either. I mean, I don't think there's anything else you could do to change it, really. He looks good as he is. I mean, we're still waiting to see his full movie 3 look. That's going to be interesting when that trailer finally drops.
Here we go. So here's the example.
Right. Again, I'll have to wait a bit to see it on screen-wise, but I'll get to see it.
Just obnoxious.
Oh, okay.
Just the real bubbly eating. Just real exaggerated looking.
Here we go. As it goes.
Yeah.
It have to be.
It's great. I think Goku did that a lot too.
I mean, he did eat a lot of noodles, that guy. I mean, the amount of, like, stuff he eats, you know, considering how much he fights the dude. That's become a trait in the, I guess, what they call the shonen anime, or manga, I guess. Is it anime or manga? I don't know.
Let me see. There's a whole compilation. Yeah, here we go.
Alright.
Oh, that's loud. And that's real simple. But,
Definitely know a lot of Miyazaki films have a lot of people eating in them. I mean, there's definitely a lot of animation stuff to work with that. Yeah.
and just imagine, this is just for the audience, I guess. Imagine Sonic with a chili dog or something taking a huge bite like this. He's just looking over.
Oh,
Sonic is just an anime protagonist. Changed my mind. So I'm just gonna have him just obliviously chowing down.
Scoffing down.
So I'm trying to figure out what angle to do it at as well.
I mean, what angles have we got now? What type of angles have we got on this?
Oh, what I have so far?
Yeah, what do you have so far? See if you can make it stand out.
Yeah. I got a side profile, a 3/4, and a front. Which is really all I need. Because the other one I want to be like a sad expression. That's going to be the last one. But right here.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to chow down. Angle. Another question from Sharon is, how hyped are you guys for Sonic Movie 3 from 1 to 10? I'm sort of at minute 5 because I just don't know what we're going to get. Partly,
yeah.
I've heard a lot of bits and pieces, so I'm just wait. When it drops, it'll drop, and then I'll probably go crazy over it.
I'd say 7 for me. Because it's more just curiosity, you know. It's like I really want to see what this is going to be. I'm excited to get a reveal of what this is going to be like. Because it is now confirmed PG-13. So
yes.
I'm like, man, like what is
this the other night?
Yeah, what is that going
to? So, by all accounts, they could do an F-bomb if they want to. But the question is where and who will say it. We don't know. That would be the key thing.
And I was saying that I wanted to be a gun soldier that Shadow's dealing with. Shadow just appears in front of him, like thinking he's safe. He's
yeah.
And he, gets knocked out or something, or maybe he just like does like some sort of chaos blast him out, like out of frame.
Yeah.
I imagine if I were directing, he's like, and he gets cut off, and it's just you see the blast, and then it reveals Shadow just.
I've seen a lot of films where you have a character. I mean, how movie one almost has, I'm the Donut Lord, you son of a,
Yeah, like he gets blasted out of the way, and you just see Shadow, facing the camera with his hand up, and he just lowers it. You just see like the, I don't know, whatever light is left from the blast.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm curious because, like I said, they are clearly going to do Adventure 2's plot, and they're going to do their own thing with it, but they're going to keep the centrals there. Between him being a project. Probably Joe Robotnik, Maria, of course, and I am curious that the one thing I'm curious about is whether they will do Space Colony Arc, because I do wonder if that's a touch too far for these movies. I'm not saying it's impossible.
I think they're touching on it because there was an animatic leaked that I think
I'm aware of the I didn't see it myself, so because I just don't want to keep myself surprised. But again, so. Again, I'm not against it because again, I think if you're gonna do it. It's just the case of there's been this like big battle station just sitting over Earth for about 50 years, and no one, at least in the movie verse, has ever noticed this until now. It's one of those things, but you can come up with excuses to say it's a secret project. Nobody knew about it. They hid it away. Blah,
They
blah,
have
blah.
it. They have it cloaked from like satellite stuff. You know,
Yeah,
it's
stuff like
invisible
that's
to any
fine. I mean,
detection.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, in movie 2, when Robotnik comes back to Earth and informs Agent Stone to get his pod ready. I mean, the fact he's already got a pod ready for his comeback from another world is like, I mean, I can get that because Robotnik is someone who is just always prepared. Like, this is a dude who, as soon as he gets somebody on the mushroom planet at a way of getting off it, his first tactic is, right, get rid of them and just leg it to the ring. Just that's his main goal. Just get rid of these guys and just head off.
We are. I am confident that we're getting Supersonic again.
Oh yeah, I mean, let's be fair. They've done it in movie 2. They're going to do it for movie 3, and we're going to get Mr. Moody's super form as well.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if you're doing that, like I said, it's part of Adventure 2's plot. You know, it does involve the two going super, so not a secret.
Yeah. Going on what Sharon's saying, I am. I don't know about Rouge, but I'm confident that we might get Amy. I'm more confident that we're getting Amy than Rouge. Simply because she's more popular.
That's true.
Because you gotta because with Rouge, what was her role? Because I've never played Sonic Adventure 2. I've never played any.
She worked for Gunn. That's the thing. She was like a double agent. She was initially trying to find out about Project Shadow, but she was already working for Gunn in the first place. So if they were to do her, you have that excuse to say, oh, she's a double agent. She's working for Robotnik and Shadow initially, but she's really informing Gunn about what they're up to.
And and here's the reason why if she was already on Earth, I bet you she would have been the one working with. I picture her working with that woman. Remember in the post-credit scene, one of the soldiers, she's like,
the one
we
who
found
informs
something.
about,
Maybe Rouge was working with her. Like she helped her find.
They found out the database for this project for 50 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that said, my main worry with introducing either Amy or Rouge is like, I just don't know, because this goes back to when the Knuckles series was announced, and I actually thought to myself, if they wanted to bring these characters in, they could use that spin-off show to introduce them early, so then a whole audience get to know these characters and, whatever. Then by the time you get to movie 3, it's like, oh, we know who these people are, and you'd have to do big expositions or really trim down who these characters are. So,
but we didn't.
Again, so for me, I'm still not sure if they'll have time to put either character in here. Like I said, I mean, I think if you have to choose one or the other, but I don't know. I mean, it'd be nice if either one of them appears in the movie. Maybe that would be the big last-minute trailer thing they do. Is like you see, oh, his Shadow, here's all the cool stuff, and then bam, here's Amy Rouge at the last minute.
Oh yeah,
so
like in a trailer.
Yeah. So who knows? Like I said, I'm not ruling it out, but my worry is more about time for them to be in the film. Like, how much will they get time to shine in the film? That's my main worry if they do either.
Yeah. What I really want to see is I want to see Sonic's World. I just want a movie about that. I want to see.
It's weird that we've now, like you said, it is weird that we've now gone 2 and a bit films, and we've seen bits. Obviously, we see Sonic's Homeworld in movie 1. We see the Mushroom Planet. We see a bit of Knuckles' tribe as well. So we do see a bit of it, but it's like just fully doing it. And I do wonder again for movie 3, would they just have a whole segment set on one of the worlds? Would we see one of the zones in its full glory for shits and giggles? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man.
I mean, it would be nice. I will say what I did like for one cool thing for movie 2 is they did build a partial set for the Labyrinth Zone. They actually did build some sets for that sort of segment, which is kind of fun. They actually went to the effort. And even the Mushroom Planet, which again, if you go online, you can see some deleted scenes for the opening of the film, and it's like they did build a big section for Jim to just pat around in. But the fact that it's they actually bothered to build mushroom props and greenery and stuff. It's like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Thinking about this angle.
Yeah, it's also Sharon put it out. The movie would be would it be a 10 out of 10 if we don't get Live and Learn playing in the background? I mean, we have apparently Johnny of Crush 40 has submitted saying Live and Learn is going to be the movie. How and what context, we don't know. Will it be in the credits? Will it be in the climax? Will they do an orchestrated version? Will it be just like a gag on the radio? We don't know. Oh, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. I mean, now's the time for them to pull out all the stops, being that it's, the third installment. But we don't know if it'll be the last. That's the thing, right?
That's true. I'm curious to see how this movie does and whether
they may make a fourth.
Movie 4 would be, would be in the possible. I'd be curious to see how this one just plays out.
If we're not going to the, different planets and stuff, or to Sonic's world, in this one, they have to do it for a fourth one. Come on. You got to expand the world a little bit. Like, if you were to do that, that would save money. It would save a lot of money for filming on locations. Just do it all in studio, on a set.
Funny enough, I've got here's a little story for you. So, recently Doctor Who has been on air and finished, and one episode was entitled Boom, which was mainly done entirely in studio. It was done as, they say, the cheap episodes. Like, we'd have to go out on location and stuff, but as they did that, it's like, okay, we have to build a cavern, we have to light it, we've got a set decoration, we then got a backdrop. They also used the volume, which is like the big screen thing that ILM have been using for like The Mandalorian. This is a smaller version, but basically that technology. So for what they thought was meant to be an easy, cheapy episode, turns out to be, wow, there's a lot of work and effort put into this.
Yeah.
But still, if you can pull it off, I mean, like I said, I'm not against them doing full-blown, let's do live-action renditions of some of the zones in there. Like I said, movie 2 did partially bits of Labyrinth. I would be beyond ecstatic if they did something else in some form or fashion.
Yeah. Have I seen Sonic Prime? Yes, I watched season 1.
Yes.
And I lost my patience with it.
You did.
Yeah, I did.
I watched it all the way through. It's kind of funny because I will say, when it came out, the initial response from people was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing and brilliant!" And as it went on, people literally just turned on it like crazy. It was kind of bizarre to see in action.
Well, I think there's a lot of people that realize that, wow, this isn't really... The pacing is really weird. It's kind of slow. Like, that's what I was feeling. I can only speak on myself.
Yeah.
When I was looking at that, I was watching through it. I was like, okay, I see the formula. We're getting to go to different universes, or like different versions of the same world, and go through different. We just see his friends in different ways over and over. That's kind of the gimmick, right, for the episodes. And then we befriend them again. We beat the bad guy or whatever. We find the shard. We move on to the next world. I'm like, okay, we just got to collect them all and get to the bottom of this. And then we went back to New York City, and I'm like, oh no, I thought we were progressing here. And then, even at the end of that, we went through an entire season. And, I mean, it was 8 episodes, mind you, but I still don't know what the Chaos Council really is, or what their plan is. It just to rule the multiverse?
Well, seemingly, when they find out, I mean, I will say one thing I was a bit disappointed is they never explain how do these guys come about, because there's a line where
there's like
we're
no
not
difference.
Related, so who are you then? How did you?
Who are they? They can't. Are they just different versions of Eggman from those universes that we visited?
The only thing I can think of, and this is, I guess, if we're going to headcanon stuff, my reasoning, if there is one, is probably they're all Mr. Dr. Eggman, but from different points of his life. So he was an angry baby, a gamer kid, a hipster, teenager, and finally becomes his, and a grouchy old man. So they're just him from like different points of his life. Although,
why they would be related.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is like they're not related in that fashion, but they're just him, at some points of his life. But whatever.
It could be.
I think, it could be.
That'd be
funny. Do you know that one thing that did cause a lot of ruffle was there was an interview with Ian Flynn, who is like the current main writer for a lot of the Sonic games and comics, and he was a part of Prime a little bit. He was like script editor, he didn't have a lot of control. He did say when they when it started off, it was going to be more game focused because the initial press for Prime was it was going to be in canon to the games. But as you watch it, particularly I was watching it, it's like now this is just its own thing, which I expected. I mean, all the Sonic shows, let's be fair, they just do their own thing. They've all done their own weird thing with it, and for better or worse, and that's part of the fun of it. But from what I gather, Ian was like it was going to be more in canon or characterizations and stuff, and as the show went on, it's like it became less a priority. So okay, something happened during the making of it. Maybe it wasn't a bigger deal to them making the show. Who knows?
So it's
personally, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. You were finishing.
But personally, I did enjoy the show. I did enjoy it. I mean, I see the reasons why people don't like it. I think my big issue with Prime for me towards the end is there's just a lot of repetition. There's a lot of repetition of stuff that we already know.
Oh my gosh! Like we've seen it shatter like 7 different times. Like we get it.
Yeah, but it's not that. It's like
the
weird thing is like you're giving like recaps of stuff that happened like less than 2 episodes ago. It's like, and the episode begins with that. It's like, why do we need it?
Because they're filling time. I think that's
maybe,
whenever
again, it's like this is. Sorry.
Oh, it's just like whenever I see that in shows, it's usually because they're trying to fill the time slot. That's most cases.
Yeah, but what made it weird is because they made this for Netflix. This is a streaming thing where you can just pick up and choose whatever episode you want. It's not like it's on syndicated television where if you're lost, you've watched like the last 8 episodes, it's like, where am I? What's going on? Who's this character? And stuff.
At that point, that kind of rules it out. So it is just the only really other reason for it is just incompetent writing to a degree. The reason why I say that is because the Acolyte suffers from the same thing, and I mean that's showing itself, right? It's got a 14% audience score right now. Star Wars Acolyte, because the writers are just bad, and
I mean I don't know what they're doing with Star Wars, so I'm just
it's a lot of garbage. They're trying to rewrite George Lucas's universe, basically. They're like retconning all of his stuff.
Yeah, I have heard the bits and pieces about it, but then again, Star Wars is, to be fair, somebody pointed this out, is in when you watch the original Star Wars, when you see someone cut with a lightsaber, you clearly see someone bleeding with it. You know, like it's an alien person, but it's good, like it's red blood, so it's like, that's nasty. But then from Empire onwards, they had this rule now where when anybody gets cut with a lightsaber, you don't see blood. It like just fuses, it cauterizes itself. So, you're not having people just spurting out blood everywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's because that was the first time he was actually doing Star Wars. He's still figuring it out. He didn't even know if it was going to go anywhere. Yeah. He didn't know if it was going to be successful. So he's like, okay, well...
No, I mean, hell, he just thought, I mean, the stories where he was making the movie halfway through thinking, what have I done? I've put all these people to do this weird movie that I don't know if it's even going to work or not. So it's...
Yeah.
But then again, here we are now with Star Wars being everywhere.
Yeah. So, more to the point is like... It's an example I can go to with... It happens with when they don't know what to write or... how to present it. I don't even think it's that. They just think flashbacks make a lot of sense. But they don't realize that, the audience doesn't need you to hold their hand to figure things out. The audience isn't stupid. That's the thing.
I mean, that's the irony, is you hope you make this stuff with the knowledge of, people should be able to pick this up, but then there's always like, well, what about that one person who just doesn't get it? It's like, oh my god,
well, that's his fault.
Them, do we?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, there's been a lot of stories about, having to put in, there's a thing called ADR, which is like additional dialogue recording, where it's like you have a character exposition things off camera. So it's like a last minute line or something, so they can just sneak it in for like people to know and things.
Yeah.
But yeah, but regardless, again, despite that tangent, it's like I still enjoyed Prime for what it was. I just enjoyed it for what it was trying to do. Sonic goes on a multiverse adventure, and it did what it did. Is it the best show? No, there's definitely faults with it. I think, like I said, towards the end, one of the tangent I want to go on is in the fact that they labeled it as seasons, because this kind of annoys me a bit, because when they announced the show, they said it was going to be like a long form story. They said it was going to be, we're doing the story from beginning to end. It's not really in seasons, it's more the case of we're going to make this amount of episodes, and that was the goal. You know, it wasn't like, you know, with other Netflix shows, it's like, oh, we do season 1, if it works, we'll do season 2, and if not, we get cancelled. You know, that didn't happen with Prime, thankfully. Although, weirdly enough, this is the weird thing. If you go back to the initial press release for Prime, they said it was going to be a 25-episode run, and then for some reason, we only got 24, so I don't know what happened. Maybe there was some last-minute decided just to put everything into the final episode to get it done. Who knows? Again, we may not know until years later, like any of this stuff. We don't know the ins and outs of this stuff until, you know, everything's done and dusted.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I mean, I still enjoyed it for what it was. I think animation-wise, it's definitely a beautiful-looking show. I mean, they definitely pull a lot of effort into that thing. I think there is still good stuff in it. I just feel, as you say, it's annoying that there's a lot of repetition information, and it just feels a bit, it gets in the way of enjoying the rest of the show.
Yeah. And that is the most important thing. Because, yeah, like, the animation was pretty cool here and there. At least there were good ideas. I still think they could have executed some things better and not have so much clipping. Like, it looked like a college creation, you know, like a university project at the end of the day.
To be fair, it's
for kids.
Fair,
they did the job.
Yeah.
You know, they took shortcuts because they realized, well, there's a lot of kids watching it, and they don't really. Not everybody's going to care, you know.
No. I mean, to be fair, it is still, you know, made for, like, it's. I don't know what the budget or the timing for the show is, so it's kind of like, if we need to reuse assets, you know, we need to do it because, you know, we're making this on a schedule for whatever reason.
Yeah. So, you know, but what I was going to say is.
Just before you go, Sharon said, I think it's I got to go. I think that's it. I got to GTG.
Yeah, that's it.
All right then. But
all right. Well, thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining.
Take care. But yeah, well, that just goes to show that it's really the story and the writing that takes priority. Because, yeah, the animation would have been cool, you know, might have been cool. I was captivated by some of the action scenes, like Sonic flipping around, you know, with the robots chasing him. But if you have bad writing, then I'm just gonna get bored, you know?
Yeah. I will say I did like what they did with Amy throughout this show, the different iterations of Amy. I'm surprised they did more than I expected, because, like I said, I'm pretty sure that they fell in love with Rusty Rose, and they made her, like, a big part of, like, the show going forwards. So they clearly just had fun with her.
Yeah.
But as I said, you know, it's frustrating because, like I said, I do enjoy it, but it's by no means the best one. It's sad to say that, but still, you know, to be fair though, this might annoy some people. I'd rather watch that than the Knuckles spin-off show, if I'm honest, because you said you couldn't.
Oh, definitely.
I tried watching that, and I just gave up.
Good, man. I don't want an alien space echidna, red echidna. What really set me off was the fact that I know it wasn't the entire episode, but still, like, they had the gall to have this space echidna learn about Judaism and, like, the culture and stuff specifically.
Well, it's the fact that you have
all the food and
space echidna, you know, you have a character talking about their fictional tragedy and compare it to a real world tragedy, which is like, yeah.
And it's not even that. I don't even think it was. Did they mention, like, Holocaust stuff? I don't even think I heard much about it.
There is a line. I watched that episode. She just mentioned about, oh, my tribe got, you know, persecuted and run out of things. It's kind of like,
bruh.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like you're equating a fictional one versus a real thing. It's like that's on the line. That's a very, very hard line.
And it's like, it's just not the place for it. This is Sonic the Hedgehog.
I mean, my biggest issue with the Knuckles spin-off show is, like, I knew going in this was going to be a comedy. Like, the setup was he was going to team up with the idiot cop and they're going to go into a hijink adventure. I thought, fine, okay, as long as it's funny, I can go with it. And there's a lot of it where I just sit there and just go,
it's just not funny.
It's not funny. It's just not funny. a lot of it feels like, like people riffing. There's like a comedic tangent where people like will just riff lines or just make up stuff, which Jim Carrey does. This is not a secret. Jim Carrey does like make up stuff when he's being filmed, and a lot of times it's like, I'll give you 3 different takes, and then you use which one is the best type deal.
Yeah.
This, it just feels like they just let them. I'll just let them riff for like hours on end, and then we'll pick the one. And I'm just thinking that, oh my god, none of this is good. None of this is funny. It's like, oh my god. Because that's really what drove me off it. It's just then like I said, I don't go into any of these Sonic medias wanting to hate stuff. I generally don't, because if I did, I wouldn't. Oh god, I probably wouldn't be a part of this. I've probably given up on the series ages ago. But it's like I generally go in with an open mind to see what they're going to do with these different takes. And like I said, when movie 1 came out, given the fact everyone thought this was going to be train wreck based on that first trailer and that first design, and the fact that they had to. The fact that they did change it, and the fact that it was still people that, yeah, you changed a lot, but is the movie going to be any good? And then people went in and go, oh, this is pretty good. Oh,
yeah,
that's nice.
Pleasantly surprised. I did one little comment about it. I won't go into it, but I was surprised by the pacing of it. I legit couldn't I think I audibly said, I'm like, we're here at the final battle. Oh. I said that out loud in the theater. I'm like,
did you?
We're here.
Wow, we're at the climax. That was quick.
Already?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess. It just wasn't much of a build-up.
I'll give movie 1 credit, is in everything in that film, it feels like everything's there for the right length of time. It never feels like this is going on too long, or we should have had more time with that. It feels, for the most part, everything's paced out really well. And even though you said you think the climax was kind of like, oh, we're here already, it never felt like, oh no, it's, wow, this is too short of a film. It's like, no, it just feels like it moves at a decent pace, and it never feels like it's wasting your time.
Yeah. Well, coming out, I was just thinking, well, this is a successful kids movie, family movie. That's what, that was their goal. Not meant to be super spectacular. They did what they did.
Yeah.
They met their goal. It's not what I want, but it's not marketed to me. That's the thing.
Yeah. But that's the thing. If I can enjoy what's effectively just a pretty decent kids movie, it's like, it must be doing something right. I mean, I will say that. It's like, wow, if you entertain me, a grouchy old 30-year-old man, it's like, you did your job, guys.
Yeah. Alright, I never had Sonic. This is a good opportunity for me to practice him with his eyes completely wide open. So it's like, how do I shape them, right? So this is a good opportunity to kind of play around with it. I don't know. Like,
I was just going to say, are you doing it like he's just been caught in action? Like, are you eating chili dog?
Again? Oh, yeah.
He looks like you're about to take a photo of someone, and they just turn around thinking, smile.
Are you eating that again? Yeah. And? But yeah, it's just trying to get the face right is kind of difficult. The angle as well. This is definitely a challenging. I'm glad I'm doing this because it's kind of a challenging position. Because it's like the eye comes out here too, a little bit, and it's like, how do I almost need to like do a little reference photo, like a little reference sketch here, just doing straight ahead to make sure I'm doing it right.
I mean, a lot of animators, this is something they do, like, they would often just have a mirror next to them, so they would just look at themselves to say, do a facial expression, or just see how they turn, just to get, like, a quick, oh, okay, maybe we can do that.
Yeah, but it's like, how do I open his eyes up all the way? I guess it's like that. Or should I angle it more towards the nose, like that? Because they're really wide open, right? There's no... The brow is not coming in contact with his with his eyes at all.
Hmm.
So it's like, okay, how do you present that without it looking strange? Also, the fact that I do split that line. And have it still shaped the same, also not too big. It's all these tiny things.
Sometimes it is a case of trying to make it look consistent. It's like with how you have a character head on. It's kind of like, well, what would they do? How proportions everything is, if that makes any sense.
Oops. Yeah, something like that. I think it might be this line here that's throwing me off. It's a little too straight. Yeah, opening up a little bit more works. It's like, which means this one needs to follow suit. Oh, yeah, that's much better already.
All right. Again, I'm watching you stream, and I'm already.
Oh yeah, see.
So
See,
you've
I
already
know
figured
what's
it out
gonna
by now. So still, get to see the process in some form.
Yeah, you'll see here in a bit. You're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, for someone who's meant to be a simplistic design, it's very hard to sometimes get him right.
Yeah, well, they say, I think this actually comes from either James Baxter himself or somebody who is reviewing his animation, but saying that, the simpler the design of a character is, the more important the placement of those few lines is. Because it's up to those very few lines to make an expression right. Because the more detail you have, the more you can get away with nuance, But when you have just a select few lines, like the position of that is everything. That's going to change the expression completely.
Yeah.
If it's slightly off. That's the trade-off.
It's funny you mentioned James Baxter, because he did animate for Adventure Time, and a lot of the characters just literally have two dots in a line for faces, and it's kind of like that's probably the level. Like, you have to make those work, expression-wise, and sometimes they either just do very simplistic, sometimes they do like goofy faces, like really exaggerated stuff. But it is the case, though, you have to give life into these very simplistic-looking caricatures sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm also going to make his ears perk up like he... Something got his attention. So just showing that that's something we can depict as well with the drawings. They're not just there, motionless.
Again, I remember... If you look at the cutscenes in Frontiers, they actually do make his ears go up and down to actually emoting his emotions.
Which is super good. So much better. Because of how I drew the quill here and how it connects to the rest of the head, it does actually look like from the cartoon. Almost looks like the mohawk.
Yeah. Again, I wonder if that was when they were making their show. They just decided if you do it one-sided, that would be easier to work with, or whether they just thought, oh, well, when you see it in when they saw the screenshots, like, well, he's gonna have just one set of spines, so we'll just go with that.
Yeah, it's this kind of thing where I'm like, do I have the eye actually be the edge of the entire drawing, or should I have the other side of his face?
You can have a bit of, I think, have some of his face still there, a little bit. I mean, it's up to you if you think it's better. If you think it's better to just have the eye be the cutoff point for the drawing.
Yeah, because you don't want it to look flat. You know what I mean? It's the angles
Yeah.
and everything. Maybe a little bit of both. Like I have it going into the corner and then fading into the, or just sliding into the brow.
Mm.
So it's like both. And then I've got the other bit of the snout over there.
Yeah, like I said, I'm seconds
Yeah.
behind what I've seen you.
Let me
Yeah,
let me do this for you because I think I can
Yeah, okay.
I can still stream this on
Yeah.
Discord at the same time.
All right. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Did it in real time now.
Yeah. So that
I
section.
did see just before you did this line, you did another one where there's a bit more of the face there. I think if you did a little bit of that, I think it'll work with a bit of his cheek there.
But then I gotta figure out the cheek has to form into that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, you've got his nose, so you can have that be the cutoff point, so you'd have to worry. His nose is already covering up a lot of his cheeks, so if you want, you can have it that, or you can have that little bump there.
let me redraw where the nose bridge goes now, because that could be in a better spot. Yeah, I guess so. Let's try the mirrored side. This is a really good way
Yeah.
to check.
If something works.
Yeah. It's like the nose looks a little weird, so I'll change it slightly from this angle. Might bring it out more to the side. Bring it up.
I'm just trying to think, like, out of all the characters, does Sonic have the biggest nose compared to, like, Tails, Knuckles, or Amy? I don't know if his nose is longer or bigger compared to those. I don't know.
Most likely.
Mm.
Just part of the reason why I considered just making it small, or just referencing an actual hedgehog.
Mm. You have a tiny little snout.
It's like they did it really, I think they did it really good in the movies. Where it's like in between.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a good expression.
I like the fact there's that other head there. It's almost like someone's asking himself, and another one's looking directly at them. And, oh my god, they're seeing me.
I guess I could, for funsies. What does he look like from the side here? Or from the front? Well, he's eating something.
You mean having? Those big up cheeks.
So what? No. I eat when I'm upset,
You
okay?
two both eating something?
What? I eat when I'm upset, okay? It's just an accident. I think that works.
Yeah. I gotta say, if you tease this little bit you've done, you can just snapshot this bit here with the eating face and just say, "Guess who's more to come soon."
Yeah. Now we gotta do. This is where I'm gonna pose my own hand.
Okay.
Figure out where this stuff goes. That's the wrist. That's where it connects. This is kind of how I structure a hand. There's the other bit of the palm. That's where the fingers connect over there. Thumb comes up here. And he's holding the chili dog, so it's going to be fingers coming up here. Do that little arc. That's where the fingertips are actually going to meet.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog's going to be right there with a bite taken out of it.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have a big chunk of it eaten.
And you know what? This could be what the other hand does. Because this, this would be a really good example. If I make every... Yeah, sorry, Sonic. I got to get rid of him.
Sorry, front Sonic.
I am going to make all of this smaller. Because this is a good idea to show off my little philosophy of these guys, like, following physical rules. He's going to have one of the gloves taken off while he eats something messy.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, they're going to make, like, realistic decisions. We're not going to have Sonic eating a chili dog from the Black Knight.
From the many stained gloves he's had over the years of eating.
And he's like, it makes me cringe a little bit when he's, like, finishing off... I guess chili got on his fingers and he's like licking it off, like off of his gloves. I'm like, bro, come on.
They did do that in the opening of Black Knight.
That's what I'm referencing. Yeah. Like, no sane person would do that. Not even Sonic. So what I'll do is I'll shorten him down. Because what I can have him do, because I was wondering what I was going to do with the other arm. So I'm thinking it's going to come down and basically just holding one, kind of holding the other glove.
Okay.
So we have that dynamic pose going on.
Yeah.
So the other arm's
I did say, I think I did say before, like, we could easily do a gag about, like, him trying to use, like, a touchpad thing with his, just tries frantically with his gloves on. Just goes, no, Sonic just pulls it off and throws it, and it maybe hits Antoine out of the blue. It's like,
he shakes it off. Like, do you remember the Toad from the Toad from Flush to White?
Actually, the best thing to do is give it to Antoine with a glove smacks him in the face and think, I've been insulted. My owner's been insulted twice today.
It's like, when they take the glove off and they smack people with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what he's referencing.
Like that. Yeah.
Puts a brick in there.
I would
Bugs
love
Bunny.
to see that as like, yeah, I'll say that. I would love to see that as like, even as an animatic, just like a quick little, fun little bit.
Yeah.
That'd just be a nice little thing to have.
So we'll have one arm coming out. I just wanted to be seen, so the angle is everything. It's kind of like a top-down view. So I gotta remember that. It's like the perspective, right, is gets bigger towards the top. So his waist actually should be angled like that. His other hand there. There's some foreshortening going on. And yeah, this is a way of showing off more of the design, like what if an article of clothing is missing, what does it look like,
Yeah.
For reference. So that's a good, we're knocking out a few birds with one stone here. Which is good.
I remember the first time, there's an episode of Sonic X, it's really early on, where it's like they go to the beach and you actually see Amy walking around without shoes on. She's got like these little like
blobs,
basically shapeless blob feet. It's kind of like, oh my god, is that what they feet look like without?
I hope not. That's not anatomically useful at all. Like, there's no way Sonic's running with that.
And well, there's a weird thing because there's a shot earlier on where she's swimming in the ocean and they're just like little triangular sort of thing. So it's like, do they just form to whatever shape they happen to be in? Is that how they work?
I really hope not. Right?
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's kind of for them. They have to go. Okay, what do they look like without the shoes and gloves on? I'm thinking, oh god, ooh.
I mean, well, that's the internet's fault. If you
Well, unfortunately, the internet will take it and run it like crazy. Unfortunately,
they could have been like, well, they have completely human hands, so it should be the same for the feet, and that's that. Not weird at all.
yeah. I'm trying to think. Do we ever see Sonic ever take? We see he take his shoes off.
Yeah,
He's
not the
wearing
gloves.
Socks on.
Yeah,
Not the gloves, no.
Not the gloves. Well, I mean, we got Uncle Chuck. He's kind of proof. He's proof of that. So, and it's simple. Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
Mine is different because I'm like, okay, well, I don't want his hands to be blue as well because his arms are. So I'm like, well, what if I had like. I looked at an actual hedgehog, right, and I see they like where their paws are, where it is kind of the bare, like lighter fur.
Yeah.
On the front, and then on the back was the regular color, right, the darker fur color. I'm like, well, I don't want the fingers to be like all the way down the fingers, so I'm like, oh, what if I have it? Maybe it just kind of cuts it. Maybe it goes across the palm, maybe over the knuckles a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Or just, it kind of jags or zigzags up the palm or the back of the hand a little bit, and that's where the color change happens.
Yeah. Cutting off point, yeah.
Because they had a straight up cutting off point in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's true.
If you remember that.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah.
That's so, that's just bad design.
I've definitely seen. I know in the. I think it's the when they did the Genesis arc in the Archie comics. There is it's after the whole thing with the Genesis Wave business, and you see Sonic holding Metal Sonic's head, and you see a bit of his glove torn, and you can see a bit of what looks like peach coloring hand.
Yep.
So
it just makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, how about it this way? I'd be curious for what the movie people have to do. If they have to figure out, oh god, do we have to show his feet or gloves without them on? And they're thinking,
they did. Guys, they did a little bit. Where the socks
movie
the
one,
socks
you
are all
see
torn up.
Socks off, yeah. You see the bottom of his soles.
It's like, oh man, his poor, because he's got worn out shoes, and he's been hurting himself.
That's the thing with Sonic. That's the thing with him is if you give him any shoes, he's just gonna run them dead. He's just gonna run them flat.
Yep. And then somehow the ones given to him by the little girl has still kept up. Completely fine.
Maybe
not damaged.
Yeah, maybe who knows? Who knows? Out of all the shoes in the world, that's the one that there's a brand that he can keep using those.
Maybe that's where he gets his. Maybe that's where he gets his new soap shoes in the new movie. Who knows? He's like, they've worn out.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
It's like, no, I liked these.
It's funny that they were real shoes, soap shoes. That was a weird tie-in they did for Adventure 2, which I think they're long gone since then, but I'd be surprised if anybody ever got any shoes because of that game.
Yeah. Now I gotta look up an actual picture of a chili dog.
Yeah, all this talk about chewing on the chili dog, we have to get real-world reference.
Oh my gosh, I'm tempted to get a chili dog later. Because of this. I mean, come on, look at that.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Look at that. They know.
Hey, that's a good reference that I could use. Because it's actually drawn. And the best chili dogs on the planet. They get the chili to dog ratio so right.
You're so right.
Where does he get the meat? I don't know. We're not going to question it.
The fact that you just type in chili dog and they're already showing you images of...
Oh, what is that? Wait, is that a reference to the guy? I think it's a guy with terrible cosplay. He's in a wheelchair just eating on a chili dog.
Really?
He's in a Sonic...
I was going to say, I mean, this is when this is what happens when you eat too much food. You get to that level, just like shoving it down you gob.
It was a Sonic cosplay with a chili dog. It's this guy.
Oh right.
I think that's what they're referencing.
Oh right.
That's awful, man.
Wow, we didn't even know that was a thing.
It's chili dog time. Oh my gosh. No, there's another.
Oh, there we go. There's Ans. Hey, look at that.
Hey, that's proper. He's, you know.
Yeah, well.
You use your clean hands to cook.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, that was a good reference I can use.
Yeah. I guess we'll go back to the glory of the hot chili dog.
They gotta summon it.
I'm using my mind to bring it to reality.
I'm currying this thing. Inhale. Where'd it go? I mean, there's the that's from the.
Oh yeah, that's the one they used from the recipe book, I think. There we go. That's the one.
That's another bit of evidence that he is just American, actually. Sonic's just an American.
I mean, he's a Japanese creation, but he's made to appeal to Western audience. I mean, let's be fair, that's what he always was. So he's many things, Sonic. He's many things to in different countries.
I wonder if because he's messy with the chili dog, so I might have because he bit into it. Now it's like falling off a little bit towards the front.
Slipping, it started to slip.
Running down his arm. No, not that much, but
all right.
Also, what the heck, Tails? You thought this was a good idea? I just noticed this. Wait, where'd it go? Put a bow on the chili. Come on, dog.
To be fair, he does bite the tailor end of that first. That's what he does in that cutscene. He doesn't bite the bow area first.
Yeah, but it's like you got the bow is in the chili.
I mean, knowing him, he'll probably, once he gets to that bit, he'll unloosen it and he'll probably just either he'll chuck it away or he'll lick a bit of it. Knowing him.
Yeah, because he loves it so much he'll lick it right off the gloves, man. We already saw that.
Yeah.
He is.
I mean, this is what happens.
No chill.
The Western world gives his love of chili dogs, and then suddenly it becomes canon for main Sonic. It's like, all right,
yes, sir.
we have to do this now.
Now, what was it? I don't think Way Past Cool is canon yet, but we definitely got Let's Do It to it.
I mean, that has popped in a few times. That's true. It has popped in a few times.
Oh, I wonder if the Japanese dub of the game actually. I wonder if he did like an. I wonder if he tried saying that in English. You know, the actor for Sonic.
Be surprised. I know the guy who's been playing. I think the guy who's been playing Sonic since Adventure 1.
Do it
today. So who knows?
He's got to get. I forget the actor's name for Sonic, Japanese Sonic, but I really need him to say.
I know he's still playing him. Yeah.
Way past.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, maybe someone's going to. If we're lucky, someone at the convention will go like, "Can you just say these lines?" It's like, okay.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Let's figure out how many times is Goku's voice actress have to be like, could you do the scream? Could you do the words? It's like, okay, I'll do it again.
Oh, man. Oh, speaking of actors, I came across this. Colleen Clinkenbeard. She did a little thing for somebody at a convention.
Ooh.
She combined the moves. Here we go.
Beep, beep, beep.
She's got the vocals. She's got the vocals to do that.
Yeah. It's like Luffy combining the moves together. Gum Gum Kamehameha.
Yeah, why not?
Luffy pulling off the move, thinking he can do it.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen him in action by literally deforming reality as a cartoon.
I know, like, what if he actually does it, just do it because he can, you know, in Gear 5 or 5th Gear?
Who knows?
Oh, man.
This has been a good, yeah, it's been good joining in for this today.
Yeah, this is a good one. We're just having fun.
Yeah. Right, I mean, how long have I been on for an hour now or so? I'm trying to think actually when we started this.
We've been going for an hour 46 minutes now. At least the stream itself. I don't know when you joined, but
yeah. Well, I joined it I joined at the beginning, but I didn't say anything for like the first 3 or 4 minutes. So
yeah. Let's see. I gotta get that reference again.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I'm thinking if we've been on that long, I mean, I'm gonna probably pop off now. But again, it has been good as ever doing these, you know, joining in and seeing you. And again, I'm already loving shout out Sonic, if we're gonna call him that. This drawing.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. And again, we did have Sharon to talk to, so that was nice. Answering the questions and stuff, so that was nice.
I always enjoy doing that.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll call it an evening, at least in the UK for now. But again, as ever, fun joining on with you. Again, even if I don't join in like this, I'm always trying to check out when you're on, see what you're doing, and all that stuff.
Yes, sir. Well, good to have you.
Yeah, so I look forward to seeing this bad boy finish soon. So I look forward to that. But in the meantime, take care, man, and we'll catch up later.
All right, take care. We'll see ya.
Yeah, you too.
Bye. Good guy, good guy. So we're gonna keep doing this. I gotta do the chili. This drawing's starting to make me laugh. Hey, wait, Fox is in here. Morning. How you doing? Rotate him. Get rotated, idiot. There we go. Figure out how to do these quills, man. I did it before. Let me pull up a... I think I was doing a reference for myself. Was it actually this one? Not quite, but these drawings are good. I think the quills do kind of... They definitely go to the side of the neck eventually. So I think it's like... It's really weird. Let me... Nah, I'm not going to eyeball it. I need to find this thing. I did figure it out once. I made a reference for myself. I need to use that. So this one. Yeah, I forgot about these drawings. What are you doing here? But it's not quite what I'm looking for. So that's not it. gosh, this is probably super old and not useful anymore. Yep. Just I have it somewhere. I know this. Oh, it could be a physical drawing that I did. Oh well, that's okay. We'll figure it out. I do know I was designing the quills to where it would kind of angle down towards the bottom of the back, and then it comes off. So then it comes up, and then it splits like that. There's a bit of fur, and then it comes up to the top. Let's do a harsher angle. I don't know, man. Because it kind of does the same thing as his head, but just on his body. That's the idea. So I guess that'll work. Go. gonna mark out where these quills actually go. Because there are still like 2 on this back, but I have it all grouped together in one shape. That's the hard part. So something like that. Yeah, that works good. These angles are so difficult. It's the exception, right? It's like, what do you do with the quills here when they're a separate material? So you got to figure out where they would actually be on his body or sprouting from. And you're like, okay, where would he would, like, if he was shaving himself, right? Like, keeping it from growing anywhere he doesn't want it to, for the sake of his style, where would he cut it off from? That's the decision you have to make. So it definitely won't be on his arm, so we definitely want to cut from there. It would kind of be a weird shape, you know? Going up towards his neck. And then right here would be where the fur sort of comes off. There's a little bit there. It's strange, you know? something like that. You just can't see it. There's not enough room. This will be a difficult angle, but he'll have like his hand on his hip, but it's also like holding the other glove. So it'll kind of be like he's kind of holding it, you know, like this, just kind of on his waist. It's kind of difficult to draw, but we can try it. his arm needs to be a little bit longer than that. So that's the other shoulder, technically. Tilt him a little bit more. He's got more weight on that hip, so that looks better. Another really tough angle that I can't actually reference on my own because I can't physically do it. I mean, I could use my camera, I guess. It's like okay, I've got an idea. So at this angle, you can kind of see is one phalange like that. The other there, you can kind of see him holding it. And the other thumb is over there. And then we could just rotate it. That works. Change up his expression just a tiny bit. So, this is definitely the toughest drawing for some reason. Oh, that looks stupid. Alright, hopefully that works. Suppose we'll just move them over slightly. Alright, well that took forever, but I think that's gonna be as good as it gets, I think. It's difficult trying to get it right. I don't know about the tail. All right. I think Sonic's good. Oh, I forgot about the stuff on top of the chili dog. Dang it. What's my hair doing this? I've got the Tyler one head, but for hair. So I want to go forward or like what? That's better. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you. Welcome back. I'm drawing sad Sonic, unfortunately. Gotta see which. Yeah, gotta see what each emotion would look like, you know? Oh, sorry about that. I didn't see you. It's not a comic. It's more of a character sheet than anything. Just all these different angles and expressions of Sonic the Hedgehog. Actually came out really good. Those quills. It's looking pretty good. Oh, man. It's already almost 1 p.m., huh? Damn. Is it really that time? Wow. Right. I think that's all the drawings. Just just going to position the main drawing now to be in a better spot. Trying to keep that there for a second and move the grid around. So 660, huh? There we go. Yeah, so this is a character sheet that I'll be selling at a convention later this year in October. I'm going all the way to England. So yeah. Oh, let me get this as well. There we go. I'm gonna make a copy of this just in case. See if that looks good. Perhaps. Do I draw with a pen? I can, but not for these. I got a tablet, like a screen tablet. Let's see. There we go, that's what I want. What? Where did he go? Weird. It's not an empty layer. What? See, this is why I created a copy. Thank you. So hopefully the name will go there. Hopefully it fits. See, I don't know if I wanted to put it down there or on the side. If I put it on the side, it's going to be even less room for the character to be there. Let's see. Get thirsty when I have some of this. That's pretty good. I'm sure you can do it. Here we go. It's not properly lined up, but whatever. Or maybe I could do a... Guess I could do F11. Nope. that renders. Right. Haven't used this in a while. Alright, let's see. It's my alphabet. There it is. This is my little custom font. There we go. So I can drag all this out where there's nothing. Drag this down. I'm going to group this together. Is it J? Ooh, I don't know. Haven't used this in a while. Surely it's G? It's not. G is to move. Man, I gotta Google this. Can't believe it. Yeah, it's Control J. That's what I thought. Control J. I guess I have to shift click. There we go. Yeah. Whatever. Material. I'm just going to use white. So we can mark over that later. So it's 10, 20, 12, and 12 and 6. So 126 divided by 2 is 63. So this has to go down here to the middle. Wait, am I dumb? That's 20, 22, 26. $226 should be 11 or 113. So this goes to 11 and 1, 2, 3. That is the center. That goes up 16, so it goes to 8. That's the center of the entire thing. Supposedly. Yeah. That's a big resolution. We're just going to call this 1920. Make the render bigger. It's the camera itself, I think. Oh. Try to get it exactly. 1.25. Nope. 1.3. 1.4. 1.35. Good enough. Oh. What? Oh, I didn't have to mess with that at all. That'll work. All right. I think we do F12. There it is. Image. Save as. And there we go. That's all we need Blender for. Now we can load it in. Or it's going to be dumb, and I don't know where it is. What? Where did it go? Yeah, it's gone. Why? Welcome back. Just figuring out Blender a little bit, just so I can bring this in. There it is. Open as a new layer. There we go, custom font. Just bring this on top of everything. Just gonna see how this fits. See, it gets to be pretty long, so by the time you fit it in there, it kind of gets small. Why doesn't he have green eyes? I don't know. We're gonna have to eyeball this, huh? Yeah. Well, not really, because you just take the X spacing and we can't do it because it's I can't divide 5 and 2. That sucks. Oh, we gotta redo this anyway because I hit enter. I'll just have to eyeball it, try to get it as close to the center as I can, which might be about right there. And then from here, I have to get it right in the middle of this. So maybe there. I think that works. Am I gonna make knuckles? Well, I mean, you tell me. Alright, so we turn this off. It's a decent spot for it. Now we can just take Sonic himself. Just bring him down to where it also fits. I don't want it to snap anymore. So I'm trying to be careful because that quill is getting close to that corner and I don't like it. Yeah, I guess you could say that. Alright, these dudes are ready. Or, I mean, it's one dude, but... Nice. Alright. So I think I'm going to be done for now. This stream's been going on for three and a half hours at this point. And I have other things I got to do today. So... oh, see you later, Sharon. Yeah, I think I did some good progress. A lot of just figuring things out, what I actually want to do. Got it all laid out. Now it's just time to polish it. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Thank you guys so much for joining. We'll do this again. Hopefully, maybe a little bit tomorrow. So, yeah, just stay tuned. I'll announce it on X whenever I'm going live like normal. And, yeah. I guess we'll see you guys then. Y'all take care.